that has solved those and threw the ball very well in Pittsburgh. It's a big day for clubhouse man for the Cardinals, Butch Yachtin, in his 50th year with the Cardinals, 50 years. He was honored prior to the game. Here's the opening pitch of the ball game. Stennett, first ball hitting, bounces one off the right side for the base hit. Now, Rennie Stennett, first ball hitting, as he usually does, found the hole between Torre and Sizemore. That'll bring up Dave Parker, the right fielder. He has hit the ball well against the Cardinals this year. Parker has had 10 hits and 17 tags at bat against the Cardinals, hitting at a .588 clip. On the season at .273, 3 home runs. He's driven in 9. Here's a pitch by Nagy. The curveball is down low, ball 1. Nagy's a right-handed pitcher. Joe Torre at first base holds the runner. There's Stennett, the pitch to Parker. Fly ball up center field, pretty well hit. Back is Agee, going. He can't get it. It bounces into the stands, and it's a double. A ground rule double. Actually, a book rule double is what it is. And as the ball bounced off the AstroTurf surface into the seats into left center field, and the Pirates are running it to Mike Nagy with a single on the double. Have nobody out. Runners at second and third, and the batter is Al Oliver. Parker continues his solid hitting here. And that ball just was hit right on the button and kept sliding away from Tommie Agee. He never had a chance to catch it. They're getting activity in their bullpen. Looks like Tom Murphy's starting to throw, or maybe a left-hander. Orlando Pena it is. Oliver lines to center field. It should get a run in. Stennett tags. He'll come on to score. And holding at second base is Dave Parker. That is a 90th RBI by Oliver. Most that he has ever hit in 1 year in his major league career. He's talking to us on the pregame show, stated that was one of his goals this year, to drive in 100 runs, hit 20 home runs, and hit 300. And he may just reach all of them. He needs one more home run to get 20. He's batting at .295. But the Pirates lead 1-0, and a batter will be Willie Stargell. Parker at second base. Tyson playing directly behind him on the strong shift against Stargell. The pitch to Willie is up high. Ball 1. Orlando Pena throwing alone in the Cardinal bullpen. He's a right-hander. The 1-0 pitch from Nagy. Change-up, and it missed high. 2 balls and no strikes. Looked like he tried to slow up on the curveball. Stargell leading in RBIs with 108. Johnny Bench second behind him at 103. Willie batting at 304, 39 home runs, 2 behind Davy Johnson. Curveball again missing inside. Ball 3. Nagy is continuing to work Stargell very tight. Pirates lead 1-0. Parker at second base. 1 down. Foul. He had the green light on 3-0. Back out of play. This game, of course, on the Pirate Radio and Television Network, and as the players say, it's the game of the world. It's on national television. Tony Kubek and Kurt Gowdy working to our left. Nagy wants another sign from his catcher, Ted Simmons. He checks out Parker at second base. It's a fastball. Missed high and outside. Ball 4. Now that's the first walk of the ball game. The Pirates have sent 4 batters up. They have scored 1. They have 2 base runners, and the batter now is Richie Hebner. He doubled in the first inning and was thrown out as he and the home plate umpire at that time, Dave Davidson, had some words and a little bit of contact, I would guess. He took an early shower. Hebner hitting at .280, 21 home runs. He has driven in 64. The fastball is low and away. Ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. Again outside. The count 2-0. It is tougher pitching in the daytime than it is at night. Not only the heat, but the batters see the ball better. Two balls and no strikes. Fastball away, ball three. And Agee struggling here with control. And instead of he has a problem, looking at his record down in Tulsa, it was that control. The on-deck batter is Manny Sanguillen. Hebner has the 3-0 count. Stargell had the green light on 3-0. See if Hebner does. Here's a pitch, and he missed ball four. That loads him up. Parker goes to third. Stargell to second. Hebner on at first. And Barney Schultz is coming out to the mound to talk to Mike Nagy. Sanguillen is the batter. But a delay here as Barney Schultz is going to make a pitching change already. They're going to the bullpen. And this is something, of course, that managers don't like to do in the first inning, but out of necessity, this is a very big ball game for the Cardinals. If they lose this one, they would fall 4 games back in that loss column, and of course 3 games behind overall. Now Shandy will not wait too long to make some pitching changes today. Nagy leaves, and coming on will be Orlando Pena. Well, we've got a moment here. Let's pause 20 seconds for our local station. Orlando Pena is the pitcher. He'll face Manny Sanguillen with the bases loaded. His record is 3-3. Much travel pitcher, but has done well for the Cardinals this year. He's saved 5 ball games while winning 3 and has a good earned run average of 2.20 in 36 previous appearances. He's been primarily a short reliever. Pirates, the last time in here with Nellie Bryles pitching, beat him a ball game, won a home run by Richie Hebner in the 7th inning, 3-2. And a very odd delivery, turns his back and hides the ball very well, not exceptionally fast. There's a fork ball. Sinking fastball, and may occasionally throw a different kind of pitch like Gaylord Perry does, or is supposed to. Off. Joe Brown says they call that a Cuban knuckleball. A little bit wet sometimes. The log on Iggy, he only goes 1/3 of an inning, tagged for 2 hits, 2 walks. He's already given up 1 run, but the base runners, Hebner at first, Stargell at second base, and Parker at third, are his responsibility. Now the Cardinals are playing back, of course, for the double play here. Sanguillen has driven in 59, and if he can get a base hit, it's going to be a very big one for the Bucks and break this thing open a bit. Manny hitting at 285, 12 home runs, 59 RBIs. Pena steering for the sign from Ted Simmons. Cardinals loosening a couple of pitchers again. Andrews, the left-hander, and Tom Murphy, a right-hander. Pena set the pitch from the stretch. He swings and misses Sanguillen. Takes the pitch up around the middle of the cap. A very bad pitch. In general theory, you just don't throw the ball over the plate to Sanguillen. If you do, you're going to get hurt. And most pitchers this year are doing exactly that. They're making him chase it. And the ground ball hits foul off third as Pena kept that ball down low. Possibly out of the strike zone, too. Well, Manny a little bit anxious to swing that bat is in the hole here. No balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2 pitch, just outside. He missed with a breaking ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sanguillen started to go, but lunging and finally held off. Houston has taken a 3-0 lead over the Dodgers. They're in the bottom of the 5th at Houston. Pitch outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The breaking ball again by Pena. Gives you almost a hesitation in his delivery. Turns his back toward the plate, facing second base as he goes into his motion. Hides the ball. Tries a lot of deception. The 2-2 pitch. Line drive, center field, base hit. 1 run is in. Stargell's going to come around, and the throw by Agee is to the cutoff man. The Pirates lead 3-0. Well, Sanguillen, after chasing a couple of pitches, hung tough with 2 strikes and just punched the ball right up the middle off Orlando Pena. Those 2 runs charged to Steve Nagy, Parker scoring, and Stargell scoring. Moving to second base, Richie Hebner. He is still the responsibility of Mike Nagy, so the log not completed on him. Bobby Robertson got a single his first time up last night on a check swing to drive in a run. He's hitting at 248, 14 homers, 38 RBIs. Pena's pitch is fouled off the third base side, strike 1. Cardinals have the rookie Ken Reitz at third, another rookie Mike Tyson at short, Ted Sizemore is at second, Joe Torre at first. The outfield, Brock in left field, Tommie Agee in center, and Luis Melendez is in right field. Pena and Simmons, the battering. Still only 1 out. The Pirates lead 3-0. Same lead they had last night. Pitch inside knocks Robertson back off the plate. He lost the batting helmet and the soft cap as he ducked his head to get away from it. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hard ball game last night. All the scoring taking place in the first inning. A lot of disputed plays of the umpires. The 1-1 pitch. Check swing, and it's hit off the first base side. Torre will make the play unassisted. Both runners advance. Hebner goes to third. Sanguillen to second base. Robertson, check swing. Did that last night, wound up with a base hit, but not quite that fortunate this afternoon. It'll bring up Dal Maxvill, the shortstop. Maxie hitting at 208. No home runs, 13 RBIs. And he can be tough in situations like this. With runners in scoring position, the outfield very shallow all the way around, and particularly in right field with Melendez and center field with Tommie Agee. Brock a bit deeper in left, but still very shallow. The pitch to Maxie is outside, ball 1. The on-deck batter is Jim Rooker, the pitcher. First base is open. The umpiring crew, Wendell sat behind the plate. Donatelli at first, Bob Engel is at second, and Davidson at third. Here's a pitch by Pena, foul by Maxie on an off-speed pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cardinals really suffering with the ineffectiveness lately of Rick Wise and, of course, the loss of Bob Gibson. The 1-1 pitch, curve inside, or the forkball maybe. 2 balls and a strike. Nothing Pittsburgh. Runners at second and third. 2 down, first inning. Foul. Back off the mask of the catcher, Ted Simmons. Pena that time came in with a fastball. Mets got 2 runs in the first inning against the Chicago Cubs and Fergie Jenkins. George Stone pitching for the Mets. Maxvill swings and misses strike 2. That ends the inning. The Pirates had 8 batters up. They scored 3 runs on 3 hits, and a couple of walks, no errors, and we stand 2. Now we go to the bottom of the first inning, and the Pirates take a 3-0 lead. Here's a football score. West Virginia at halftime leading Maryland 6-0. Pitt opens their season this afternoon at Georgia. 2 field goals in that ball game. Bobby Bowden's club out in front 6-0 on a couple of field goals, 1 in the first period and 1 in the second. Penn State Nittany Lions are on the West Coast. Later on, they'll be playing Stanford. Well, Jim Rooker has a 3-0 lead, and he faces Lou Brock, the go man for the Cardinals. He's sitting at 294. Good curve by Rooker. Is in there, strike 1. Brock is at 6 home runs. He's driven in 57. Up in Montreal. The Phillies got a run in the first inning. They lead 1-0. They're batting in the second. Curve down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dick Ruthven, a rookie, going for the Phillies, and Mike Torre for Montreal. Here's a pitch to Brock. Foul. Back out of play in the fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Houston has hit 3 home runs in that ball game. The pitcher, Griffin, his first with nobody on in the third. Cedeno 23rd with 1 out in the third, and Jimmy Wynn is 22nd with 1 out in the fifth. Pitch down low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Run by Wynn was in the fifth with nobody on. Ground ball, right side, sent it over, cuts it off. He throws on in time for the out. He dropped off the base paths, and you're going to have some success against the Cardinals. We found that out last night. You get on once, he scored their only run. And he makes things happen. This is Ted Sizemore, the number 2 batter, hitting at 267. 1 home run, 47 RBIs, but like the Pirates' Dave Parker doing so well against the Cardinals, this guy has been a nemesis against us. Hitting at 328, 20 hits and 61 times at bat, and 10 RBIs. Rooker in with a fastball. It's fouled back out of play. Strike 1. Tommie Agee, the on-deck batter. Pirates lead 3-0, bottom of the first inning. Here's a pitch to Sizemore. Good fastball. Cracks right on the outside corner. Strike 2. Rooker had an excellent winter down in Venezuela. Pitched a lot of baseball there. Moving fastball. Sails outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jim can be overpoweringly fast, and he appears to be that way. Early in the ballgame, his fastball is really live. Tailing away from the right-handed batter. In on the left-hander. The 1-2 pitch. Good curve. Snaps it off, and it's foul. Exceptional stuff here in the first inning. Always has had a good throwing arm. His big problem was getting any sort of consistency with his pitching. It's curve, and it's fly ball into shallow center field. Back is Rennie Stennett. The second baseman's got it. 2 down. Rooker started out in the Detroit Tiger organization as an outfielder. Turned to pitching. Spent most of his career in the American League with Kansas City. This is his 14th year in professional baseball. Started out in 1960. The batter is Tommie Agee with 2 down, nobody on. The Pirates lead 3-0. Check swing and a foul. Out of play off the first base side. Strike 1. Agee has hit 9 home runs this year. One of them in a Cardinal uniform. The other ones with the Houston Astros. The big man in 1969 for the Mets. Fly ball, right side, high fly, and the right fielder, Dave Parker, will play this one. He retires aside, Parker making the final out. Cardinals go out in order in the first inning. We have completed one, and the Pirates lead 3-0. Pirates leading 3-0 in the second inning. We'll send up the pitcher, Jim Rooker, then back at the top of the lineup, Rennie Stennett and Dave Parker against Mike Nagy. The log on Nagy, he went 1/3 of an inning. He's charged with all 3 runs. He gave up 2 hits, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. Rooker, not a bad hitter, hitting at 250, no home runs. He's driven in 2. Rooker's had 10 hits in 41 at-bats. Pena's pitch is in there, no, a little bit too high, ball 1. Jim, a right-handed batter. Pena, the right-handed pitcher, into the windup, and the pitch. Swinging and a miss on a breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rooker has moved up in the batter's box. Curveball that's swung on a miss. Strike 2. Can't move up any farther. Trying to get that thing before it's breaking or something. Just dazzling him with that off-speed stuff. A wind-up on the 1-2 pitch from Pena. Fastball, foul, back out of play. Hunter's hit a few home runs in the major leagues, and all of them in the American League. He's telling us, Bob and me, that he's going to grab one in the National League sometime. This is a tough ballpark to do it in. High fly to shallow center field. Now drifting back a bit is Agee. He's got it. One down. It'll bring up Rennie Stennett. He opened the ball game on the first pitch from Mike Nagy, punching it between Torre and Sizemore. Parker followed with a book rule double. Oliver hit a sacrifice fly, scoring Stennett. Stargell walk. Hebner walk, loading the bases, and then Sanguillen against Orlando Pena punched a single in the center field to score 2 runs. That's in the scoring. Rennie fouls out of play. Big thing with hitting against Pena is being able to wait. He is very deceptive with his motion. There's that complete pivot, turning around, facing second base. Then comes into the plate. Hides the ball. Fastball is up high. 1 ball and 1 strike. A 1-1 pitch. Blown away. 2 balls and a strike. He was picked up by the Cardinals on June the 15th. He was purchased from the Baltimore Orioles. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball to short. Mike Tyson's up. He's got Stennett at first base. 2 down in the Pirates' second inning. The Pirates lead 3-0. The batter now will be Dave Parker. He hit a double into the gap in left center field. It bounced out of the ballpark into the stands for a book rule double. Big left-handed hitter. Change-up from Pena's down low, ball 1. Newspaper strikeout here in St. Louis. And hard keeping up with the activity in the major leagues. But the Cardinal stat sheets have almost become a sport sheet here. Standings, leaders, and home runs, and so on. Pitcher's down low on Parker. The count goes to 2-0 on Dave. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Another off-speed delivery. 2 balls and a strike. Up in the 2-1 delivery. And another swing and a miss. Strike 2. And off speed pitch. He's keeping it down low at the knees on Dave. Candice needs a good long performance from this guy. Buck dipping into the Cardinal bullpen in the first inning. High fly to left center field. Well hit again. Agee drifting back. Still going. He's got room. And he's got it right on the warning shot. And you tried to slip a fastball by him. Not quite got his eye, and Parker almost took him out of the ballpark. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We go to the bottom of the second inning, and the Pirates lead 3-0. You know, good news out of the Pitt Panthers under Johnny his debut, leading 7-0 after the first quarter. Pirates lead 3-0 here. Ted Simmons leads off the second inning against Jim Rooker, Cardinal catcher, batting right-handed. Makes the pitch outside for a ball. He's hitting at .298. And is at 12 home runs, driven in 83. Leads the Cardinals batting and RBIs. Tied in home runs with Torre, the on-deck batter. Rooker in with a fastball, taking all the way. Simmons, 1 ball and 1 strike. A wind-up and a pitch by Rooker. Foul. Pop-up off the right side. It's in fair territory. Now drifting in foul territory. Robertson makes it. It's down the right field line, about 90 feet behind first. Angle of the sun here. A little bit more pronounced as you move into closer to the fall season. More difficult to pick up the ball off the bat here. Getting into fall season in October and the first World Series kind of weather. Pirates hopeful of being able to capture some of that magic in 1972. The batter is Joe Torre hitting fifth. Fouls out of play. Strike one. Rooker came inside with a fastball. Torre hitting at 289. Has 12 home runs. He's driven in 62. He's had a lot of physical problems the last month or so. Bad shoulder. Fastball down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rooker tried the outside corner, but just missed with a moving pitch. 2 balls and a strike. Torre was acquired from Atlanta in a trade that sent Cepeda down there. He swings and misses on a high fastball and had to let go of the bat with that right hand. It really bothers him. He just can't handle the ball up high, and particularly when he swings and misses. You can see the pain showing on his face. Reaction he has. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And a ground ball. High chopper to Hebner. Has to wait for it. The throw is in time at first. 2 down. 2 up and 2 down. 3-0 the Pirates lead. In the bottom of the second inning, Luis Melendez, the right fielder, will be the batter. This youngster hitting at 255. Has hit 1 home run. He's driven in 32. Pirates have Hebner at third, Maxvill at short, Stennett at second, Bobby Robertson at first, Willie Stargell in left field, Al Oliver in center, Dave Parker in right, the battery, Jim Rooker, and Manny Sanguillen. The windup in the pitch by Rooker to Melendez is a curve that spins in right at the knee, strike one. Up by Rooker, and another pitch, and it's foul off the left foot of Melendez, and he goes hopping out of there. He hurts. Misses this, by the way. Report on him after a very severe foul he got off his left shin bone. Appears to be in much better shape now with Lance today, but still has some pain. He can pinch it if necessary. That pitch, by the way, was a slider. This was hit off the foot of Melendez. Cardinal trainer has to attend to him. Doc Ellis joining the Pirates ball club. Billy Browse last night had to leave because of a bad back. Nothing much to report on that, other than he took some heat today from trainer Tony Barterone, and first wait a while to see how problematic that thing's going to be. But good to see Ellis back. Gives you another arm. The count is 0-2 on Melendez. 2 down, nobody on. 3-0 Pirates lead, second inning. Change-up is a little bit too high. Ball one. You could see Hernandez last night just almost pitch around this fella. He wanted to pitch to Lou Brock, and he got him. Melendez pinch hit. Swing and a miss. He couldn't save it. Fastball by Rooker just sailed away, and Jim picks up his first strikeout. He's retired 6 in a row. We've completed 2, and the Pirates lead 3-0.
Up there, rain out on Sunday.
Willie Stargell and Richie Hebner, 3 left-handed batters to go against the ageless Cardinal pitcher, Orlando Pena, age 38. But still pitching very well. He came on to replace Mike Nagy in the first inning. There's only 1 out. He's given up 1 hit, and that's been it. But a very big one by Manny Sanguillen with a count of 2-2. He singled in the center field to drive in 2 very big runs. Hit a sacrifice fly in the first inning, his 90th RBI, and it's season high total for him in his major league career. Oliver takes a strike. up by Pena. And the pitch. Foul. Back out of play. Came right in on the fist of Oliver. Maybe just dazzling you with that wind-up of his and a lot of off-speed pitches. His fastball is not going to overpower you at all, but he mixes them up so well. The 0-2 pitch. Here's a fastball. It's lined to right field. Back is Melendez on the warning track. He's got it. Now Orlando twice has tried to throw the fastball by Parker and Oliver now. And both times they have been well hit. Agee catching Parker's ball for the final out in the second inning on the warning track in deep left center. Melendez going back on the warning track to get this one to open up the fifth. The batter is Willie Stargell. He walked in the first inning and came on to score on the single by Sanguillen. Pirates lead 3-0. One down, third inning. Pena throws the fork ball, but it's something off speed. It was way down low on Willie. John Andrews, the left-hander, starts to throw in the Cardinal bullpen. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss by Will. Fastball right down at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pirates scored 3 runs last night in the first inning, and that was all we got. And the Cardinals likewise scored in the first. Ball. It's right on the corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Willie shot looking. Willie, that big rhythmic swing of his. Getting ready for a windup. And the pitch underway by Pena. He struck him out. Breaking ball low on inside. He puts the ball down low, and Scott is a good low ball hitter. But Pena just pitches him right down there a little bit lower than possibly he would on anybody else. But Willie chased the pitch very low that time on a breaking ball. 2 down. Pena pitching very well here. And retired 7 in a row. Hebner fly ball to center field. Agee back in the shadows on the warning track. He's got it. Well, the Pirates go down in order for the second consecutive inning. We go to the bottom of the third. And the Pirates lead 3-0. The third inning for the Cardinals with Jim Rooker leading 3-0. Kenny Reitz, Mike Tyson, and then the pitcher appears to bat. It appears that he will not. As Tom Murphy starts to loosen. Murphy, a right-hander, beat the Buxton here the last time we were here in July on the starting performance. Well, we'll send along a very happy 75th birthday today to good listener in Kane, the good Pirate fan, Virgil Johnson. Kenny Reitz, the third baseman, a rookie hitting at 228, 6 home runs. He's doing in 40. A right-handed batter against the left-handed Rooker. He fouls off third, strike 1. Dave Ricketts misplaying the ball down there. By Rooker, and the 0-1 pitch underway. Changeup up too high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Reitz had an amazing September last year when the Cardinals brought him up. Hit well over 300 and hit very well against the Pirates. He's a fine defensive ball player. The 1-1 pitch. And it's down low, 2 balls and a strike. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Pirate Baseball Network.
Show and television service.
The count is 3-1 on Kenny Reitz. Rooker missing low. The windup in a 3-1 pitch. Down ball is short. Maxville's got it. And the out at first is requested. Pretty well hit ball by Reitz on the 3-1 pitch, but right to the shortstop, Dal Maxvill. That'll bring up Mike Tyson, the Cardinal shortstop. Had him hitting at 289, but he's hitting at 246. State is bombing Minnesota. 34 to 35 to 7 at the half. Tyson takes a strike. The 0-1 pitch, foul, back onto the screen. And the count is 0-2. Cardinals announced from the press box that Scipio Spink will go on the active list tomorrow. He makes the trip Monday with the Cardinals. Bob Gibson also will make the trip, but no immediate prospects of him being put on the active list. Good slider by Rookie, just missed inside on Tyson. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The strong point of Rooker's pitching this year is the fact that he has walked only 44 batters in 140 innings of pitching. There's quite a contrast to what he did the previous year. A 1-2 pitch. Third. Check swing foul. Third. He said suddenly last year when they sent him down to Omaha, Kansas City, he had no more options left. Thought he was going to be left to die in the vine down there. We started to think about what he was doing with all of his talent. And he only walked 12 batters in 62 innings there. He always had control problems in other years. Up high. James got 2 balls and 2 strikes. Down to Venezuela. Pitched very well down there. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Mike Tyson. And a count ball, a short Maxvill to his left, gets him. And he's got him at first base. 2 up and 2 down on the Cardinal third. The Pirates lead 3-0. And Hector Cruz, one of the 3 Cruz brothers on the Cardinal roster now, will step into bat. Cirillo, who is called Tommie Cruz, Hector Cruz, and Jose. Joe Brown says Ocean Cruz. How about that? Huh? Didn't like it either, Joe. Been at bat 10 times. He has not had a hit. Here's the pitch up. Bounces to third, and Hebner's got it. He's got the youngster at first base. The Cardinals go down order for the first 3 innings. Rooker facing 9 batters, and we've completed 3. Pirates lead 3-0.
Hale Irwin has a 3-stroke lead going 8.
Well, now Mr. Murphy's on the hill in relief of Orlando Pena, who relieved Mike Nagy. And Murphy's 3-6 on the year, has an ERA at 3.76. He's a right-hand pitcher. He'll go to Sanguillen, who singled up to the slot to drive in 2 big runs in the first inning. The Pirates leading 3-0. As we go to the 4th, Murphy comes down, first pitch over the plate for the called strike. Philadelphia batting in the 4th inning, where they lead behind Ruthven 1-0 at Montreal. The 0-1 to Sanguillen into the dirt for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. When we played in Chicago, they skipped a turn for Ferguson Jenkins. Figured he did well against New York. Right now, he's trailing 0-3 in the 3rd. In the first of a doubleheader. 1 ball, 1 strike. Is it a doubleheader? Yes. Here's the 1-1, and it's slapped into the glove of Reitz, who made a great play. That's 2 bases until he caught that one. Maybe even a triple if it bounces over there and away from the left fielder. Although with drop speed, you don't look for that. That's a fine defensive play by Reitz, robbing Sanguillen of a potential double. Here's Monty Robertson, who grounded out to first in the first inning when he ducked away from an inside pitch, and the ball went on down the line. They're going to play him around the left. That ball sailed right in under his chin. Ball 1. Richie Hebner had his leg lanced, the part where he hit, and he's fine. He could play if he wants to. Nothing further on Bryles. It's not believed to be serious, and as we told you last night and repeat again today, Doc Ellis was firing with tremendous velocity, and it looks like he's ready to go right back to work whenever Danny Murtaugh puts him out on the hill. Ball 2 and no strikes to Bobby Robertson. And I'll tell you, you're going to need all the pitching you can get. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Because we have 5 coming up with the Mets starting Monday night. Hope you'll all be out there Monday and Tuesday. Gates remain open at Gate A. Our ticket winner right now right up till quite late tonight, so if you're in the neighborhood, drop on by and get your ducats. Strike swinging, 2-2. While you're there, don't forget about that Fan Appreciation Day we got coming up with Montreal. And who knows, that final game against Montreal could well decide it. The way they're playing, the way we're playing, the way everybody else is playing, nobody's running at it yet. Totally. 2-2 pitch, just outside. And the Buccos, of course, are right smack dab in the thick of things. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out and none on in the fourth. Pittsburgh leading 3-0. Murphy, the right-hander, sends it in. Robertson hits a short loop into center. Agee went back and now comes on and runs up for it. He started back on the ball and was able to recover and come on to get it. 2 down to Dal Maxvill, who struck out in the first inning. You're just tuning in. Stennett singled right in the first inning. Parker hit a book rule double. The announcer out here is a ground rule double, and they're wrong. It's a book rule double, and a book rule double is quite different than a ground rule. In it, a book rule is one established by the league that applies to every ball club in every park. And a ball bouncing over a fence fair is a book rule double. A ground rule is when the ball club says whether their dugout is in or out of play, or what happens in certain areas of the club where they themselves set the rules. But the book rule applies to everybody, and that's what Parker hit. And Oliver drove in Stennett with a sacrifice fly. Stargell drew a walk. Hebner walked. They brought on Taney, and Sanguillen went up the middle for a base hit, and we lead 3-0. The 2-0 to Maxvill from Murphy, tailing high fastball, and it's 3-0. 2 down in the fourth. Outfield shallow and split right. Gaps left center. And a strike is called. 3-1. Tomorrow, Alan Foster goes for the Cardinals. And we're coming with Stevie Blatt. Here's the 3-1. And now it's 3-2. The game will be on our entire radio network. It will not be aired on television. 3 balls, 2 strike pitch. Maxie goes down swinging. Strikeout number 3, and it ends the inning for Pittsburgh. 3 up, 3 down at the end of 3.5. The Buccos lead the Cardinals 3-0.
Way later on, Phil Niekro scheduled to go against Don Gullett. Niekro at 13-8, Gullett at 17-8. Houston leads Los Angeles 4-1 after 6.5 innings of play. Downing and Shannon for the Dodgers. Griffin for Houston. Griffin hit his first home run. Cedeno hit his 22nd. Wynn hit his 22nd, and Buckner hit his 8th.
A good piece of the right field line. Now the wind-up and the pitch to Lou. And a curve away for the ball, 1-1. Brock has many investments that outside of baseball that have returned him huge sums of money, and he's been very astute in what he has done. One of the things is a florist business. 1-1 pitch, in low, ball 2. He has one of the finest florist shops in the country right here in the St. Louis area. He also invented a sole that he sold to the Converse rubber people that makes him all kinds of money. It's an athletic type of sole, or inner sole. 2-1 delivery. A bouncer hit down to first. It goes out foul. Very soft-spoken, very articulate young man, Lou Brock. Off the glove of Rooker, and Stennett grabs it beautifully and throws him out. A great reaction by Stennett on a ball that hopped peculiarly off to his left as he was charging over to the right. You see, he'd gone over thinking the ball might go through the box. Deflected by Rooker, in which case then Stennett had to reverse and switch over to grab it off to his left. And a fine play. The out will go 1-4 to 3. Now here's Sizemore. He tops the second. Pittsburgh leading 3-0. Rennie Stennett continues to show great range. And there's a pop-up, and Rennie drops back on this one. Lets the Cobra know that he's got it. 2 away. Here's Tommie Agee, the center fielder, former New York Met. Fly to right field his first time up. The only man that's made, we've had to have a put out in the outfield went with Agee. Parker grabbed him, and it wasn't very well hit. It was a soft fly to shallow right. I want to tell you something. The Bucks got some good speed and great defense now with Parker in right and Oliver in center. To say nothing of Richie Zisk, who I thought before his injury was playing as fine a right field as I'd seen the young man play. He just went back on the balls and made great throws. He did everything he'd want anybody to do. There's a foul out of play to the right. Now, Richie, of course, wants to play, and he will be playing as soon as Danny Murtaugh feels that he's in good shape physically. Well, the Dodgers got beaten by Houston 5-1. That's a harmful pop to them. That makes it now a 5-game lead for the Reds. Who are going to play tonight in Cincinnati against Atlanta. 1-1 here to Agee. Rooker, the left-hander, comes out, and it's foul back. San Francisco, San Diego, Atlanta, Cincinnati night game. Montreal batting in the fourth where the Phillies lead there 1-0. Dick Roosman pitching for Philadelphia. Torres for Montreal. 1 ball, 2 strikes here in the fourth. And he strikes him out on a curveball with a little bit of a foul tip involved. Second strikeout, and through the first 4 innings, Mr. Rooker pitched a perfect game as the Pirates lead the Cardinals 3-0.
Well, the Pirates really making a run for it.
All right, into the Pirate 5th inning. Rooker, Stennett, and Parker. If you're just tuning in, Stennett singled in the first inning off Mike Nagy. The Cobra, Dave Parker, bounced a hook rule double over the wall and left. Oliver drove in Stennett with a fly ball. Stargell walked, Hebner walked. In came Manny Sanguillen, took him up the middle for a base hit, and the other 2 runs, and we lead now 3-0. The RBI for Oliver, number 90, represents a career high for him in the majors with 90 ribbies, and he'll go more than that. He's just having a great, great year. Rooker for a strike. Jim fly to center in the second inning. Murphy, the right-hander, third pitcher for the Cardinals, sends a curve. Rooker tried to bail out and couldn't. Strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. And the 0-2 pitch into the dirt, almost. Ball 1, strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes here to Jim Rooker. And the 1-2 pitch, curve outside, 2-2. Montreal batting in the fourth. The Phillies lead there 1-0. New York batting in the fourth. They lead the Cubs 3-0 in the first of a doubleheader. 2-2 pitch. Ball 3 outside. He nibbled. He had him 0-2. Now he started to nibble. He's out to the full count. Rooker, a former outfielder, not a bad swinger up there at the plate. He'll go after it. 3-2. And he walked him, by golly. That's the third walk. Had him 0-2 and let him get right off the seesaw. Here's Rennie Stennett now. He singled on the very first pitch of the game, and that must have told Mr. Nagy that there was something wrong out there. Because, boy, we went after him with a vengeance. So now Reitz has come up even inside of third a little bit, just in case. Stennett takes it low. He did not indicate a bunt. Ball 1. I don't think it would be too likely. Danny Murtaugh said that he asked about Stennett. We'll talk about it in a minute. 1 ball, no strikes. I was about to say you don't know whether it'll be too likely he'll bunt, but in this situation, we'll see what Danny has him doing. They're looking for it anyhow. He swings away, foul back. The other day when he put Ramon Hernandez up, Danny said he asked Hernandez, "Can you bunt?" And Money said, "Yeah." And as he went up to the plate, Stennett said to Danny, "He's a lousy bunter." And he proved that he was. 1 ball, 1 strike. Murphy, the right-hander, delivers on the outside corner of the plate, called strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rooker, the runner at first base, he drew a walk. Short lead, not holding too much, is Torre, just in behind the runner. And Stennett reaches for a curve and fouls it up into the seat. Let's get about 3 or 4 more runs right here. Give Rooker a little more of a pad to work with. The Cardinals have a left-hander listening. That's that Andrews again. Tom Andrews. Or John Andrews. When a pitcher walks a pitcher, that usually sends up some signals. And he throws it low into the dirt, 2-2. That is most pitchers. Some pitchers are darn good hitters. Not many, but some are. All right, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Rennie Stennett. They're playing him way around to right. And he reaches for one, taps it up toward first. Torre gets it, lobs it into second, just in time for the out. Wasn't a very good throw, and it's a fine stop by Tyson for the force on Rooker. And Stennett, of course, is at first on the force play. Here's Parker now, the Cobra with a double. And a run scored and 2 at bat. Left-hand batter. Parker in the 3rd inning hit a ball out in the left center, hit it very deep. Murphy throws to first, and back is Rennie. Pirates 3, the Cardinals nothing. 1 out, 1 on in the Bucko 5th. The delivery, Parker a swing on a sinker, strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. 1 out and 1 on in the 5th. Now Murphy ready and a lob instead over to first base. Right field is in shadow. That's where Melendez is playing Parker. He swings on a changeup, doesn't get it, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Cardinals go out of here and play Montreal, Philadelphia, New York. Come home to play Philadelphia and the Cubs. Close out their season. They only have 16 games remaining after today. Parker grounds it weakly to second. They get 1. The throw back to first. Not in time. Standing in. Go to first. In the Cardinals stat sheet, they say that the Cardinals have 16 games remaining, 8 at home and 8 on the road. Yet they played 2 more games than we have, and that's all we have. They claim for us. We really have, in my opinion, 18 games remaining. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll have to figure it out. No balls and a strike to Oliver. Nothing in 1 to Scoops. And he takes a Murphy changeup inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Simmons on a very close play, trying to get in there. This young man's going to be a great base stealer once he learns a few more things, and don't worry about that. He is out on a 2-6 play, and it's all over for the Bucks in the 5th, and we lead 3-0.
On the National League scoreboard, we have a final score in, and a quick ball game it was. The Houston Astros over the Los Angeles Dodgers 5-1. That means half at Boston. Tidrow versus Patton. Gamble hit his 20th home run for Cleveland, and Miller hit his 6th for Boston. Milwaukee and Detroit are tied at 1 after 3. Slayton versus Coleman.
Cardinals in the 5th now. We'll go with Simmons, Torre, and Melendez. Pittsburgh leading 3-0. Rooker on the hill. Simmons, a switch batter. Fouled out to first base in the 2nd inning. Rooker, who's 1-2 on the year against the Cardinals, 8-5 this season, has done a great job for our ball club coming out of that bullpen. Foul ball. And when he was needed the most, that's when Rooker counted the most. He stepped right in there, bowed his neck, and went right at him. 0-1. Rooker on the 0-1 pitch. A swing by Simmons on a ball that tailed away and sank a little, and it's strike 2. And there's a base hit, the first one. Got something out over the plate. On an 0-2 pitch, I don't think he wanted to get the ball out that far. I thought he wanted to come in on it. And that's their first hit of the ball game. Yeah, watching it on my replay, the ball's right out over the plate. Now Torre, the batter, bounced to third in the second inning. How about a double play ball right about here? Curveball inside, ball 1. Curve low, ball 2, 2-0. Two balls, no strikes. Runner at first is Simmons. We're in the fifth. Pittsburgh 3. Hit to left. Stargell coming over quickly to get to it. And the Cardinals have runners at first and second with nobody out. The right fielder, Luis Melendez, who struck out in the second inning. And right away, running down Luke Walker and Bob Johnson. Come on, Rooker, double play him. Robertson looking into Danny Murtaugh to find out where he wants him to play in this situation. So here, the Cardinals with 2 on and none out bring up Luis Melendez, who struck out in the second inning. Rooker checks, delivers, and there's a ground ball hit to Maxvill. There's one of them. There's the plug. 2 of them are out of there. And over to third is Simmons. 6-4-3. Ask for it, and ye shall receive. You got to do a little something to help yourself out, too. And now with 2 down, here's Reitz, the third baseman, who grounded to short in the first inning, or rather the third inning. That was a very big double play. Montreal is after Philadelphia because they have taken Ruthven out and brought on Ron DiOrio, a right-hander. Montreal in the fourth, 1-0 Philadelphia, but they're pumping up there. Strike call to the right-hand batting Reitz. Well, it looks like what we're going to have to do is beat Montreal about 6 out of 7, that's all. That ought to be some series when we play them here in Pittsburgh and in Montreal. Foul ball down third. You can be in on it. Better get your tickets now. The last 3 games we play Montreal. And the final one on the 30th is Fan Appreciation Day. And I'll guarantee you that'll be some meeting. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 0-2. And Reitz takes it just outside as Rooker tried to nail him with a call third on the corner. Simmons at third base. 2 down. Pittsburgh leading 3-0 in the Cardinals' fifth. Now the 1-2 delivery. Changed up and hit back to Rooker. He went for a bad changeup, thank goodness, and bounced it back to Rook, and he threw him out. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. At the end of 5, Buccos 3, the Cardinals nothing.
Checking the football. 5, Texas 1. That was in 10 innings. And the game between New York and Baltimore was postponed because of rain.
Well, let's see if we can't do what we're do our little thing, and I'll tell you, Prince's Hidden Vigorish ought to set in if we win our division and we play the Reds, because they've beaten us twice now, and it's about time we give them a thrashing. First, we got to win our end of it. This is a lot better position. It'd be nice to come home tomorrow night in first place. We've come home so many times in anything but first place. Get in there at the Greater Pitt Airport about 8 o'clock and step right in there. And then play the Metsies. And we'll leave Tuesday night after the game, go right into New York and play them 3, then into Montreal for 4 big ones with a Saturday game, a Sunday doubleheader, and a Monday night game in Montreal. Then back for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with the Phillies at night at 8:05, and then Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and Sunday, Fan Appreciation Day and an Autograph Day against the tough-hitting Montreal Expos. You had better be with us. Get your Pirate yearbooks. If you don't have one, you can get them for $1.75 through the mail. And then you come out there and get your autograph. It's a great yearbook. Bill Guilfoyle did an outstanding job of putting that one together. Some delay here. We're missing a first baseman, yeah. Now Torre's coming out. And Murphy. Here's the way it went. Mike Nagy for 1/3 of an inning, 3 runs on 2 hits, walking a pair, striking none. Pena 2 2/3, no runs, 1 hit, but off him the hit that drove in 2 big runs charged to Nagy. 2 strikeouts, no walks. So now Murphy, in 2 innings, has stopped his goal, and he throws a strike to Al Oliver. Murphy's into the windup, the right-hander working, and he's outside with a fastball. Well, Montreal got 4, and they now lead the Phillies 4-1 at the end of 4. They must be going hog wild in Parc Jarry, Montreal. 1-1 delivery, lashed foul down the third base side. Our traveling secretary, John Fitzpatrick, said that we've been informed, everybody in the league, that there are no rooms up there in the event Montreal gets in the World Series. Well, we'll settle that, keep them out of it. No one have to worry about it. Base hit to left by Al, as he picked one off his eyeballs and looped it into left field. That's the 4th hit. Here he comes, Willie Stargell. He's about due to unload one. Walked in the 1st inning and struck out in the 3rd. Spread some chicken on the hill, Will, even though you no longer have that emporium. Ball outside from Murphy. Tom Murphy. Pitch to Stargell. Foul back. Wilbur went for a change. Didn't get it. One ball, 1 strike. And the delivery. And Stargell bounces it sharp enough to Torre. Makes a great play up to there for 1. Throw to first. Not in time. The pitcher failed to cover. Tyson, the shortstop, had to delay his throw to first momentarily because Murphy wasn't there. That gave us a little opening. Now the batter, Hebner, who walks and flies to center. Diego Segui is warming, along with Andrews. Great play by Torre, preventing that ball from bouncing on through. We'd had runners on the corner, so that gets by him. So Richie Hebner standing in. Pittsburgh leading 3-0. Murphy checks his runner, delivers, and Hebner takes a tailing fastball away. Ball 1. Diego Segui and John Andrews, again listing. John the left-hander, Diego the right-hander. Hebner hits a twister down the left line, slicing away from Reitz, who's running hard, and he'll not get to it. It's in the seats. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now Diego warms alone. Buccos leading 3-0. The count. Inside. Bucks lead Montreal, have from 3 games in the loss column. That's a big factor. Here's the 2-1 delivery. We got to keep on grinding our own out. Here we meet them. Foul back off a changeup. New York's now batting in the 6th. They lead the Cubs 3-0. Ball 2, strike 2 to Hebner. Runner at first is Willie Stargell. One out in the Pirates' sixth inning. Hebner fouls away. Maryland and West Virginia are tied 6-6 at the end of 3 periods of play. West Virginia with 2 field goals. Maryland in with a touchdown, missed the extra point. Pitt and Georgia tied 7-7 the last period of the half. And the pitch is outside. Ticket office is going to be open at Gate A at Free River Stadium Sunday from 11 to 3 p.m. It's down underneath. Sunday, Gate A underneath from 11 to 3 p.m. for your convenience. That's tomorrow, of course. It's open today right now, right up till 6 o'clock. Go to first and run it back. You can drive right into the inner circle there, stop and get your tickets. We're running, and the ball's hit sharply up towards second. We're going to get one there, and what a slide by Stargell, taking Tyson out of the double play. He barreled him in there like a football, rolling in halfback block. So, watching it on our replay here, that's backhanded by Sizemore. Now Tyson's going to let her go, and then Wilbur just takes the legs right out from underneath him, and I mean, did he get him? That keeps the inning alive. Sanguillen, who singled a drive in a pair, missed a double or more in the fourth on a great catch by Reitz. Checks off the pitch and fouls it off to the right. Wisconsin leads Purdue 7-0 at half, and Ohio State now leads Minnesota 42-7 at the end of 3 periods. Oof. Murphy, Joe Brown informs me, is an Ohio University youngster, along with Murray Cook in our Pirate organization, who is also with John Moreland. There's a strike called, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Time called by plate umpire Harry Wendelstadt. Pittsburgh leading 3-0. And a 6. The Mets lead the Cubs 3-0 in the first of a doubleheader. Tangy lines a foul down the right field line. Here's a foul. It's rule foul by Donatelli. We'll watch it again on the replay. Boy, that was close. Leopard is asking him about it. Take another look at it here. See if we got it. It looked like it was just fouled by inches. 0-2. Tangy hits another foul off first. No balls, 2 strikes. With 2 out in the 6th inning. There's a pop in the shallow left. Brock coming up. Tyson going back, and Brock is staying with it for the out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 3-0 Pittsburgh. For the Cardinals, in the 6th inning, Tyson, and undoubtedly a pinch fighter for Murphy. We'll be looking at Diego Segui, who will be coming in, and we're in when we get to the 7th inning. So Mike Tyson stands in. Mike is 0 for 1, having grounded out to short. Jim Rooker, a left-hander, of course, on the mound. And there's a base hit to left field by Tyson. And they're going to bring up Terry Hughes. Terry Hughes, the right-hand batter, coming up to bat. One of the as they just brought up. He's batting at 167 as a Cardinal. That's the third hit surrendered by Rooker. And here's the right-hand batter. Not holding on the runner, Tyson. Third ball inside, ball one. One ball, no strikes, and the pitch. Fastball over the plate, but low, ball two. Cardinals used one pinch hitter, Hector Cruz. They have three Cruz brothers here. I don't think any of them have played just yet as a team in the same outfield. The first time that ever happened, the Alou brothers did against the Pirates at Forbes Field under the leadership of Alvin Dark. Over but low, apparently, ball three. Buck bullpen started to get up again, and this time it's Bob Johnson and again Luke Walker. Ball four. That's the first walk, and the Cardinals have 2 men on to Brock. First walk that he's issued in 25 innings. And Mel Wright is out to chat here. Rooker in a conference, and we're warming Luke Walker, the left-hander, and Hondo Johnson, the right-hander. Mel Wright has concluded his conversation. Tyson at second, Hughes at first. Nobody out in the sixth, and Brock the batter. He's 0 for 2 thus far. Hebner's upside at third now. Let's see what he'll be doing. Brock is swinging the foul tip. Strike one. No balls, one strike. Runners at first and second in the Cardinals' sixth inning. They're running at Rooker here. Bucks on top, 3-0. Now Jim checks his runners and to the plate on Brock. And a ball here in the left center for base hit. Oliver going over to get to it. And fires the ball up into third base. They get a run. And it's a 3-1 game. Hughes stops the second. And now Sizemore in a bunting position, if that's what they wish to do. And Mel Wright is coming out. That's going to be all for Rooker. So Rooker has gone 5 innings. He can win the game. He can get started off. There's no way he can lose it. He's given 3 hits. Struck out 1. And walked. He struck out 2, walked 1. That first walk in 25 innings. That's been great control for Jim. And the funny part about it is, the law got him earlier was that if he didn't have that kind of control. So he runs out of gas there, and Bob Johnson comes on now. So Hondo is on. Here in the Cardinals' sixth with nobody out. And Bob Johnson has won 4 and lost 2. And has 3 saves. So Jim Rooker leaves. A man that can win this game, but he can't lose it. Because Johnson's going to have to hold the fort. Well, he's getting ready to loosen up. Let's look at the scoreboards in the American League. Cleveland running away from Boston. 9-5 into 5.5. Miller homered there, Gamble and Ellis also. Detroit and Milwaukee. Milwaukee leading 2-1 into 4.5. A home run by Brinkman, Coleman, and Slayton. Tonight, New York at Baltimore, and Minnesota at Chicago. Texas later on in Oakland, and Kansas City, California tonight. In the first of a doubleheader in the National League, the Mets lead Chicago 3-0 at the end of 6. Jenkins with Stone pitching, and McGraw has come on to pitch in the 7th inning now in relief of Stone. Tonight, Atlanta and Cincinnati, Necro, Phil Necro, and Ross Grimsley. Montreal leading Philadelphia 4-1 at the end of 5. Ruthven, Fiorio, and Barry Lersch, Torres for Montreal. Tonight, San Francisco, San Diego. Bradley against Rich Troutman. And the Dodgers are in Houston, where they lost 5-1. Houston 5-6-1. Los Angeles 1-6-0. The winning pitcher Griffin, the losing pitcher Downing. Griffin hit a homer, Cedeno hit a homer, and Wynn hit one. Buckner for the Dodgers on a losing side. Sizemore, the batter, and we're playing up for an anticipated bunt. Turns around, throws a ball low, and he takes it, ball 1. Ball, no strikes. Robertson up very much inside at first, and Hebner ready to charge from third. The look, the pitch. And over the plate but low, ball 2. 2-0. Pittsburgh 3. The Cardinals 1, but they're running at us here in the 6th with a run in and 2 men on and nobody out. 2 balls and no strikes. The bunt. And it's going to be a base hit. Nobody's stealing it. Hebner dropped back at third. Sanguillen couldn't get out there in time, and Johnson didn't field the ball. So it's a base hit. Matty Alou is going to bat here in place of Agee. So Matty Alou bats here for Agee. And Johnson's in a peck of trouble. We should have runners at second and third. With 1 out, they got 3 on and nobody out. Johnson will pitch from the stretch. Left-hand batting Matty Alou. He swings and strikes, and the ball bat flies all the way down the right field line. No balls, 1 strike. Matty and Jesus Alou, Philippe Alou were traded by the Yankees. And Matty to the Cardinals and Philippe to Montreal. Philippe went there right away. Alou didn't show up for several days. Johnson on the 0-1 to Matty. And a curve inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ball 1, strike 1. Infield is back. Johnson on the 1-1 to Alou. On the corner for a call, strike 2. Ball and 2 strikes. Straight away in the outfield. Now Johnson with the bases loaded and nobody out on the 1-2 pitch. Lined it foul out of play to the left, and we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Pirate Baseball Network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
Ball and 2 strikes to Matty Alou. Bases loaded and Johnson ready in a pitch. And there's a bouncer back to Johnson. He goes to Sanguillen, back to first. Double play. Great big double play. Hondo executed beautifully. A A 1-2-3 double play. Oh, man, was that ever large. So Brock now has gone to third and Sizemore to second. The inning's far from over as Ted Simmons, that's left-handed, standing in, but that was a very big double play. Now, let's see. Simmons is up there. He's fouled out to first, and he's singled in the fifth for the first hit of the ball game off Rooker. Chicago got a run in the seventh inning. It's now New York 3, Chicago 1, into the bottom of the seventh for the first of a doubleheader. Simmons, the left-hand batter. The pitch from Johnson. And over the plate but low, ball one. 1-0 to count. Come on, Hondo. 1 ball and no strikes. Runners at second and third. 2 out in the sixth. Pittsburgh leading 3-1. Simmons takes it outside a ball. Two and 0. Johnson again has his sign. Sanguillen sets to the outside of the plate. And it's outside there, ball 3. Pitching carefully now. With a base open. And right-hand batter Torre on deck. Hebner calls time, comes over to say something. We're loosening Dave Justy now, along with Luke Walker. Chatting this situation over out there. Hebner and Bob Johnson. Now Sanguillen gets in. They're discussing this on their own. There's been no sign of anything from the bench yet, or this conversation wouldn't be taking place. Now, 3 balls and no strikes. Ohio State beat Minnesota 56-7. Woo-wee. Woody Hayes got himself a juggernaut. All right, 3-0 to Simmons. Pitch from Hondo. Foul back. He went on that 3-0 fastball. Fouled it back. Woo. 3 balls, 1 strike. Hop him up, Hondo. Brock at third. Sizemore at second. Pittsburgh leading 3-1. And strike call. Now we're out to a count of 3-2, and Simmons didn't like the last call. Ball 3. Strike 2. 2 on, 2 out. 3-1 Pittsburgh in the bottom of the sixth. Johnson pitching from a stretch. Now has his sign that he wants, and here comes the 3-2 pitch. Curveball hit out of the right center, and Oliver's running hard. He's back there and got it. Oliver got it on a great play. It scared me to death. I thought for a minute it had the gap. But Oliver broke quickly and went into the shadow out there at about the 370 mark to haul it in. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left at the end of 6. We're still leading them 3-1.
Ace 56, Minnesota 7. Those are the final scores. One final in Major League Baseball. In the National League, the Houston Astros beat the Los Angeles Dodgers by the score of 5-1. With Griffin, the winning pitcher, his record 2-6. Downing, the loser, his record 9-9. Downing and Shannon for Los Angeles. Griffin went the distance for the Astros. Griffin also hit a home run, his first of the season. Cedeno hit his 22nd. Wynn hit his 20th. And Buckner hit his 8th for the Dodgers.
Runners at first and second in the Cardinals' 6th inning. They're running at Rooker here. Bucks on top, 3-0. Jim checks his runners, and to the plate on Brock. And a ball hit to left center to base hit. Oliver going over to get to it. And fires the ball up into third base. They get a run, and it's a 3-1 game. Hughes stops the second, and now Sizemore in a bunting position, if that's what they wish to do. And Mel Wright is coming out. That's going to be all for Rooker. So Rooker has gone 5 innings. He can win the game. He can get start off. There's no way he can lose it. He's given 3 hits. He struck out 1 and walked. He struck out 2, walked 1. That first walk in 25 innings. That's been great control for Jim. And the funny part about it is, the law got him earlier was that if he didn't have that kind of control. So he runs out of gas here, and Bob Johnson comes on now. So Hondo is on. Here in the Cardinals 6th with nobody out. And Bob Johnson has won 4 and lost 2 and has 3 saves. So Jim Rooker leaves, a man that can win this game, but he can't lose it. But Johnson's going to have to hold the fort. Well, he's getting ready to loosen up. Let's look at the scoreboards in the American League. Cleveland running away from Boston. 9-5 into 5.5. Miller homered there, Gamble and Ellis also. Detroit and Milwaukee. Milwaukee leading 2-1 into 4.5. A home run by Brinkman, Coleman, and Slayton. Tonight, New York at Baltimore and Minnesota at Chicago. Texas later on in Oakland and Kansas City, California tonight. In the first of a doubleheader in the National League, the Mets lead Chicago 3-0 at the end of 6. Jenkins with Stone pitching, and McGraw has come on to pitch in the 7th inning now in relief of Stone. Tonight, Atlanta and Cincinnati, Phil Niekro, and Ross Grimsley. Montreal leading Philadelphia 4-1 at the end of 5. Ruthven, Diorio, and Barry Lersch. Torres for Montreal. Tonight, San Francisco, San Diego. Bradley against Rich Troutson. And the Dodgers are in Houston, where they lost 5-1. Houston 5-6-1. Los Angeles 1-6-0. The winning pitcher Griffin, the losing pitcher Downing. Griffin hit a homer, Cedeno hit a homer, and Wynn hit 1. Buckner for the Dodgers on a losing car. Sizemore the batter, and we're playing up for an anticipated bunt. Turns around, throws a strike, ball low, and he takes it, ball 1. Ball, no strikes. Robertson up very much inside at first, and Hebner ready to charge from third. The look, the pitch. And over the plate but low, ball 2. 2-0. Pittsburgh 3. The Cardinals 1, but they're running at us here in the 6th with a run in and 2 men on and nobody out. 2 balls and no strikes. The bunt. And it's going to be a base hit. Nobody's stealing it. Hebner dropped back at third. Sanguillen couldn't get out there in time, and Johnson didn't field the ball. So it's a base hit. Matty Alou is going to bat here in place of Agee. So Matty Alou bats here for Agee. And Johnson's in a peck of trouble. We should have runners at second and third with 1 out. They got 3 on and nobody out. Johnson will pitch from the stretch. Left-hand batting Matty Alou. He swings and strikes, and the bat flies all the way down the right field line. No balls, 1 strike. Matty and Jesus Alou, or Philippe Alou, were traded by the Yankees. Matty to the Cardinals and Philippe to Montreal. Philippe went there right away. Alou didn't show up for several days. Johnson on the 0-1 to Matty. And a curve inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ball 1, strike 1. Infield is back. Johnson on the 1-1 to Aru. On the corner for a call, strike 2. Ball and 2 strikes. Straight away in the outfield. Now Johnson with the bases loaded and nobody out on the 1-2 pitch. Lined it foul out of play to the left, and we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Pirate Baseball Network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
And 2 strikes to Matty Alou. Bases loaded and Johnson ready in a pitch. And there's a bouncer back to Johnson. He goes to Sanguillen, back to first. Double play. Great big double play. Hondo executed beautifully. A 1-2-3 double play. Oh, man, was that ever large. So Brock now has gone to third and Sizemore to second. The inning's far from over as Ted Simmons, that's left-handed, standing in, but that was a very big double play. Now, let's see. Simmons is up there. He fouled out to first, and he singled in the 5th for the first hit of the ball game off Rooker. Chicago got a run in the 7th inning. It's now New York 3, Chicago 1, into the bottom of the 7th of the first of a doubleheader. Simmons, the left-hand batter. The pitch from Johnson. And over the plate but low, ball 1. 1-0 the count. Come on, Hondo. 1 ball and no strikes. Runners at second and third. 2 out in the 6th. Pittsburgh leading 3-1. Simmons takes it outside a ball. 2-0. Johnson again has his sign. Sanguillen sets to the outside of the plate. And it's outside there, ball 3. Pitching carefully now. With a base open. And right-hand batter Torre on deck. Hebner calls time, comes over to say something. We're loosening Dave Justy now, along with Luke Walker. Chatting this situation over out there. Hebner and Bob Johnson. Now Sanguillen gets in. They're discussing this on their own. There's been no sign of anything from the bench yet, or this conversation wouldn't be taking place. Now, 3 balls and no strikes. Ohio State beat Minnesota 56-7. Woo-wee. Woody Hayes got himself a juggernaut. 3-0 to Simmons. Pitch from Hondo. Foul back. He went on that 3-0 fastball. Fouled it back. Woo. 3 balls, 1 strike. Hop him up, Hondo. Brock at third. Sizemore at second. Pittsburgh leading 3-1. And strike call. Now we're out to a count of 3-2, and Simmons didn't like the last call. Ball 3. Strike 2. 2 on, 2 out. 3-1 Pittsburgh in the bottom of the 6th. Johnson pitching from a stretch. Now has his sign that he wants, and here comes the 3-2 pitch. Curveball hit out of the right center, and Oliver's running hard. He's back there and got it. Oliver got it on a great play. It scared me to death. I thought for a minute it had the gap. But Oliver broke quickly and went into the shadow out there at about the 370 mark to haul it in. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left at the end of 6. We're still leading them 3-1.
The more college football scores are in, including a couple of finals. Massachusetts beat Villanova 21-20, and Ohio State clobbered Minnesota 56-7. These are third period scores. Georgia 7, Pittsburgh 7, Maryland 6, West Virginia 6. Northwestern leads Michigan State at the end of the first half 7-3. Also at the half, it's Auburn 7, Oregon State 0. Wisconsin leads Purdue at the half 7-0. Springfield and Cortland State are tied at 14 at the end of the first half. It's Oklahoma State 28, Texas Arlington 0. That is a halftime score. And at the end of the first period, of course, we already gave you the halftime score. Oklahoma State was leading Texas Arlington 14-0 at the end of the first period. So those are the latest scores we have in college football. This is the first big weekend of college football for 1973, and the two finals we've already given you: Massachusetts 21-20 for Villanova, and Ohio State 56, Minnesota 7. Those are the final scores. One final in Major League Baseball. In the National League, the Houston Astros beat the Los Angeles Dodgers by the score of 5-1. With Griffin, the winning pitcher, his record 2-6. Downing, the loser, his record 9-9. Downing and Shannon for Los Angeles. Griffin went the distance for the Astros. Griffin also hit a home run, his first of the season. Cedeno hit his 22nd. Wynn hit his 20th. And Buckner hit his 8th for the Dodgers.
The Cardinals have made a change into center field. They put Bake McBride taking Tommie Agee out. The new pitcher will be Diego Segui. Red Shadys has gotten a great job out of his bullpen, Pena and Murphy. Pitching very well. 3 innings of pitching by Murphy. No runs at all, only 1 hit. He walked 1, and he struck out 1. Pena in 2 1/3, allowed only 1 hit, and they have shut the door on the Bucks since the first inning. But a great play by Bob Johnson on a ball hit by Mateo Alou to turn that one into a double play. And a ball hit by Ted Simmons on the 3-2 pitch. It sounded so good you had to believe it was going out here. But the ball just doesn't carry well in this park. A tough home run ballpark. And Al Oliver got the ball quite a ways from the wall in right center field. And we could do some run scoring here. They have shut the door. And we're facing a very tough pitcher in Diego Segui. He's their top relief pitcher. And the ability of their bullpen to keep it close has made it possible for Shane Deans to use him in this situation. Segui is 6-6 with 17 saves. Robertson takes a pitch up high, ball 1. Bobby 0 for 2. Pirates lead 3-1. He swings and misses, strike 1. Cardinals in with 5 hits. They have 1 run. The Pirates in with 4 hits. We've scored 3. Fourth ball down low, 2-1. 6th inning for the Pirates. We gave them 4 outs, but somehow got out of it with only 1 run scoring. The bunt by Sizemore misplayed. Fastball rides up high on Robertson. They count 2 balls and a strike. They'll make it 3 balls and a strike. Robertson hit a home run, second game of the season, to beat the Cardinals in the 10th inning in Pittsburgh. That came off Wayne Granger. He looks at a pitch up high, and Segui issues a walk. That's the 4th given up by Cardinal pitching. The leadoff batter on, and Dal Maxvill will be the hitter. Maxie struck out in 2 plate appearances. Pena nailing him in the 1st, and Tom Murphy in the 4th inning. Montreal leading the Phillies 4-1 there in the 7th inning at Jerry Park. Cubs have scored. New York leads there 3-1. They're batting in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's the first of 2. McGraw and Walker now dueling. Bunt off the first base side, and Segui throws on to Sizemore for the out at first base. Robertson goes on into second base. Dave Justy will be coming on to pitch. Bob Johnson will leave, and we're going to get a pinch hitter here to go against Diego Segui. I believe it'll be Gene Klein. Well, Bob Johnson leaves. He does a good short relief effort. Goes 1 full inning, allowed no runs, 1 hit. The infield single on a bunt by Teddy Sizemore. He didn't strike anybody out and didn't walk anybody. Clyde to a pinch hit for Bob Johnson. He's batting at .259. He's hit one home run. He's driven in 18. But a big run at second base. Bobby Robertson with only one out.
At 790 and 1420, this is American Forces Radio.
SCN Canal Zone.
Robertson, the pitch declines, is swung out and missed, strike one. A look at second, the 0-1 pitch from Segui, fouled behind home plate, 0-2. The 0-2 delivery. Fouled again. Back out of play. The fastball that time. Dave Jusky loosening. Will be the pitcher coming on to face the Cardinals in the bottom of the 7th inning. That's when Ramon Hernandez came on last night and did such a great job. Segui's 0-2 pitch. Forkball down low. Ball one. The pitch rather, the 1-2 count, and it's fouled back out of play. Cline's continuing to spoil two-strike pitches. The 17 saves by Segui, Cardinal record. It's been their weakness the last couple of years, but no longer a weakness with this guy. Fastball down low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mike Marshall has come on in the 7th inning in that ball game at Jarry Park, with the Expos leading 4-1 against the Philadelphia Phillies. Torre started, Marshall on to try and save it with a 4-1 lead, top of the 7th inning. Ball 3 as Segui turned to fastball, loose. It was high and outside. Full count of 3-2. Robertson at second base. 1 down, 7th inning. And the Pirates leading 3-1. He scored 3 runs in the first inning, knocking out Mike Nagy after he retired only 1 batter. Check swing and a bouncer off the right side, base hit. They're going to wave Robertson in. No, they'll hold him. Hines rounded very sharply at first base. They didn't cut the ball off. And nobody coming in from third, as very wisely, Robertson held him at Mazeroski held Robertson at third base. Hines looked like he wasn't going to swing at that ball at all, and then suddenly just stuck his bat out and punched it off the right side. Cardinals losing the left-hander, John Andrews. Well, the base hit puts runners at first and third. The Cardinals are back for a double play. Big run at third if Stennett can get him in here. He's singled in 3 at bats. That came in the first inning. And of course scored one of the 3 runs. The 5th Pirate hit. We got 3 in the first inning, 1 in the 6th, and now 1 here in the 7th of Diego Segui. Slides at first with good speed. The look there. The pitch. Ground ball in the hole. Base hit. We got a run. Robertson scores. And Stennett holds at first as Hines stops at second base. Big RBI for Rennie. 4-1 the Pirates lead. That's the 54th RBI by Stennett. Of seeing eye base hits there in this inning, but the walk made it all happen here. The walk to Robertson is sacrificed. Hines punched him between first and second, and Stennett found the hole between third and short. Abe Parker, the batter, takes a pitch. It's in the dirt, bounces off the screen. Both runners will advance, and the double play has gone by the boards. The fork ball by Segui bounced right off the front edge of the plate, all the way to the backstop, and almost bounced over top of the backstop. That's a wild pitch. The double play is not alive now. Fine's going to third base. And into second, Rennie Stennett. The count on Parker, 1 ball and no strikes. Infield now has to come up to Parker. Big left-handed batter. Pitch by Agee. High fly to right field. Well hit back. Going. Gone. Home run. Dave Parker hit that one a ton. This is a hard ballpark to hit him in, but he jumped right on it. Oh, that big guy has been murdering St. Louis pitching. Coming into today's game, he had 10 hits and 17 times at bat. He's got 2 for 4. So he now is 12 for 21 against the Cardinals this year. And the lead is 7-1. The odd thing about baseball, a couple of nondescript type of relief pitchers, Orlando Pena and Tom Murphy, shut the door and your ace comes in, and he gets touched up very quickly. A good lead for the Bucks, 7-1. And Parker's home run, his 4th, 3 RBIs, gives them 12. And Oliver's the batter. He takes the pitch down low, ball 1. Dave Parker had a lot of advanced billing, and he is living up to it. Oliver loops one into left field. Coming on is Brock. He'll get it. That's the second out of the inning. 3 RBIs on the home run. Fine scoring. Stennett and Parker. Now 2 down. Agee now will pitch to Stargell. He's gone 0 for 2 this afternoon. He walked in the first and came on to score. On the base hit by Manny Sanguillen. Ground ball in the hole. It's stretched up, and Reitz playing at third over there. Throws. He got him. Stargell argues a bit on that play, and he had something to argue about, I believe. He doesn't say too much, but he thought he had the play beaten. That retires the side. The Pirates scoring 4 big runs on a big blow, the 3-run homer by Dave Parker. 3 hits, no errors, and nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning, and the Pirates lead 7-1.
Al Unser, lured by pole sitter Greg Weld on the...
Well, the new pitcher for the Pirates will be Dave Justy. He replaces Bob Johnson, who did a great bit of pitching to keep the Cardinals in check in the 6th inning for his roommate Jim Rooker. Rooker is a pitcher of record. He can win the ball game. Pirates leading 7-1. A replay of the ball hit by Stargell for the final out in the 7th inning. See how close it was at first base. Stargell thought he had it beat. Do a bit of umpiring here. I tell you, Willie might have had a pretty good argument. Justy's record is 9-2. He's had 18 saves, but he has had some problems on this trip. Has not been able to throw strikes. He's up high, ball 1. Saved the game in Chicago, but it was a struggling one. Pitches away, ball 2. This is the kind of pitching Dave has been doing, and it has not been typical. He has been behind continually. They're going to get activity in our bullpen. He's into the strike. Torre taking all the way. Torre, Melendez, and Ken Reitz. 2 hit here in the Cardinal 7. Crowd today, 28,219 paid. Fly ball foul down the right field line, and Torre wincing in pain again as he swung. This game is difficult to play when you're healthy. When you've got a problem like he apparently does, it becomes much more difficult. Football score, West Virginia opens the season with a 20-13 win over Maryland. Bobby Bowden's ball club. 2-2 pitch underway. Fly ball, center field. Coming on is Oliver. He can't get it. He broke back on it, and it falls in for a base hit. Oliver misplayed the ball, and wisely saw he couldn't make the play, so just held it to a single rather than try for a shoestring. Luis Melendez struck out and bounced into a 6-4-3 double play. Both appearances against the left-hander Jim Rooker. 7-1, the Pirates lead. We're listening John Moreland and Chris Zachary in our bullpen. Strike 1 by Justy to Melendez. Mike Keller, the youngster warming up in the Cardinal bullpen, the infielder. Pop ball looped into right field, another base hit. Cardinals are running at Justy. That's the pitch up. Then Melendez just looped it into right field. He'll face Kenny Reitz. Maxvill in to say something to Justy. Reitz has gone 0 for 2. 2 hits in this inning. 7 now for the Cardinals. They didn't have a hit over the front 4. They've been battling back and running at the Bucks in the 5th, 6th, and now the 7th inning. Ball 1. Breaking ball outside. Ground ball into left field, base hit. Third hit of the inning. They'll hold Torre at third, and we're in trouble. So we got a good lead. Here's 7-1. Justy just unable to retire anybody. Hitter's been having his problems on this entire trip. Has not had good pitching performance at all. Now to bring up Tim Mccarver, who'll pinch hit for Mike Tyson. The ball hit by Torre actually misplayed by Oliver. He started back and then lost any chance to get it. Melendez's ball was looped in front of Dave Parker in right field, and that ball by Reitz was in the hole between Hebner and Maxvill. Tim Mccarver will pinch it. He's hitting at .258. 3 home runs. He's driven in 40. Carver 5 for 32 as a pinch hitter. What Justy needs is a double play ball. We've had 2 of them now in the last 2 innings. Luke Walker now joining John Lamb in the Pirates bullpen. A windup by Justy and a pitch to Mccarver. Down ball, first base. Robertson's got it. The out at second. Throw to first. Double play. No, he dropped the ball. 1 runs in, another scores. Justy dropped the ball at first base, and he allows a run to score. Had the double play, but somehow couldn't hold on to the ball. And the Cardinals get 2 runs. Robertson made a good play on the ball, getting the throw onto the Maxvill. Justy covering at first, usually sure-handed, dropped the ball. And missed the big out and also gave up a run. That's an error. Charge to Dave Justy. RBI on the play, scoring Torre. Melendez scores on the air by Justy. And there's 1 out. 7-3 is the score, and the batter now is Bate McBride. He's batting in the pitcher's spot, playing in center field. Pitch is taken at the knee, strike 1. He swings on a foul ball. He didn't get it. Strike 2. Lou Brock is the on-deck batter. Pirates leading by 4 runs. And those 4 runs came in the 7th inning on a 3-run homer by Dave Parker and a base hit by Stennett. Palm ball in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. McBride, a left-handed batter, started in center field last night. As he replaced Tommie Agee here this afternoon. Ground ball right side, and Robertson's got it. He'll take it on a fifth, and he better hurry. Oh, that guy can fly. He just beat him to the bag. 2 down, but moving into second base on the play is Mccarver. It should have been the 3rd out of the inning. The batter will be Lou Brock. He's had a single in 3 at-bats. Drove in the Cardinals' first run in the 6th inning. He's got a run in the 7th inning, but the Expos lead 4-2. New York leading Chicago 5-1. It's the first of two at Shea. Mighty big game for the Pirates. Fly ball off the right side. Not deep at all. Parker coming on will get it. And that'll retire the side. Brock took the home run swing, but Justy moved the ball in on the 5th on him. After a very slow start, Cardinals scored 2 runs, one of them unearned on the error by Justy. 3 hits, 1 error, 1 left. Well, we've completed 7. The Pirates lead 7-3.
Well, we have some final scores in college football. Boston University 16, Maine 13, Vermont 14, American International make that 7. Vermont 14, American International.
Nick Keller, the shortstop, replacing Mike Tyson. The new pitcher is left-hander John Andrews. He's the 5th pitcher of the afternoon for St. Louis. Andrews' record 1-1. He beat the Pirates. The only game he won, that was in Pittsburgh in that 4-2 ball game. Those runs off Justy are ruled as earned runs. But Dave missed the sheer double play ball he had in his glove and just saw it trickle out. Allowed another run to score. Hebner, Sanguillen, and Bobby Robertson to go against John Andrews.
Test radio at Montreal's Gary Park. They have a record crowd there today for the Phillies game. They have a crowd of 34,331.
Hebner hits one foul down the left field line. It's drifting near the stands and out of play. Well, the attendance, you may have heard in the background, was not for this ballpark, but for Jerry Park, a record attendance of 34,000. That town has become alive, huh? Only holds 29,000. That's a hockey town, but baseball is dominating it right now. Hebner swings and misses, strike 2. Nagy, Pena, Murphy, Segui, and Andrews in that order. The bullpen, with the exception of Segui, has done the job. And he got 4 big runs off him. Hebner fouls back out of play. Now a final score. The Pitt Panthers under Johnny Majors open with a 7-7 tie against Georgia. It's going to be a good omen. Congratulations to him, and congratulations to West Virginia. They've already won. Hebner, high fly to center field. Not deep. McBride's got it. 1 down. The batter will be Manny Sanguillen. He singled in the first inning. A big hit at that time off Orlando Pena to drive in 2 runs. That's the only hit that Pena gave up in 2 1/3. Time call. The ball got away in the Cardinal bullpen. They're loosening Lou Krause and Eddie Fisher. Here's a pitch to Sanguillen from Andrews. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Change-up, foul, back out of play by Manny. The count is 0-2. Pirates lead 7-3. We're in the top of the 8th inning, 1 down. But the Cardinals have been running at the Bucks in the last 3 innings. Fastball outside by the left-hander. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This guy was an on-roster player in spring training. Made the ball club, but didn't pitch well. Once the season got underway, they sent him down to the minors. Sanguillen fouls again out of play. Count holds with a ball and 2 strikes. Andrews pitched at Tulsa and also Arkansas on the year with 11-2. 9-2 at Arkansas, 2-0 at Tulsa. A 1-2 pitch to Manny outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The fastball sailed away. Jim Rooker stands to win the ball game if the Pirates maintain this edge and win it. The losing pitcher would be Mike Nagy. 2-2 pitch, Sanguillen chased a very bad pitch down around the shoot top, strikes out. Slider. That's the fourth strikeout by Cardinal pitching. The first by Andrews. 2 down, nobody on, and the batter is Bobby Robertson. He's 0 for 2. Pirates leading 7-3. The windup by Andrews. The pitch to Robertson is taken, strike one. Curve down low. Houston beat Los Angeles 5-1. Now they're playing Cincinnati tonight. Fly ball to left center field. McBride coming on. He's got it. Pirates get down an order in the 8th inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th, and the Pirates lead 7-3.
$100,000 prize. Another college football final. Lafayette 21, Kings Point 3.
Dave Justich, protecting a 7-3 lead here in the 8th inning, will go against Ted Sizemore. Bernie Carbo will pinch hit for the pitcher, John Andrews, and then Ted Simmons. Dave, in the 7th inning, allowed 3 hits, and near on his part, the Cardinals scored 2 runs. On the West Coast, Stanford and Penn State, no score. That ball game after 1 quarter. Sizemore's had 1 hit in 3 at-bats. That was a bunt on a misplay of the ball on the 6th inning. Bob Johnson and Manny Sanguillen got a little bit crossed up on the play. And loaded the bases, and Johnson got out of it with a double play ball off the bat of Ballou and a fly ball deep to right by Simmons. And a line drive by Sizemore opens up the 8th inning. And they're jumping on. Ball gets away from Oliver all the way to the wall, and Sizemore's got 2. He's going to try for 3, and he'll make that. That'll be a 2-base error. A single and an error, I believe, charged to Al Oliver. He was going to stop at second base when Stargell picked the ball up, and they might give 2 errors on the play. I don't know. That's ruled as a triple. Which is one of the few things I didn't think they would call it. The ball went through Oliver, but it's ruled a triple. Justy again, struggling here. Dave's fastball is not moving at all. Oliver just misplayed the ball out there. It really could have been ruled an error, but a single of an error, but it's ruled a triple. We're listening to Luke Walker and Johnny Lamb. Carbo pinch hitting for John Andrews. We're back to give up a run, 7-3. A runner at third, nobody out. Carbo takes the curveball, strike one. Bernie hitting at 275, has 6 home runs. He's driven in 35. Eddie Fisher throws in the Cardinal bullpen. He evidently will be the oncoming pitcher. Pitch down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now Diego Segui did not have it today. Their top relief pitcher, and Justy has been struggling. Cardinals have hit him for 4 hits so far. And he came on in the 7th. He's down low, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. 7-3, Pirates lead. Sizemore at third. The windup in the 2-1 pitch by Dave. Fastball is low and away, ball 3. Justy's performance in Chicago is similar to this. Just completely struggled throughout the afternoon. Finally got out of the dub. In with a pitch and it's foul. Back out of play. Full count of 3-2. The on-deck batter is Ted Simmons. Top of the 8th inning. The Expos lead 4-2. The Phillies batting. New York leading Chicago 5-1. Bottom of the 8th inning in game number 1 of the doubleheader there. Here's a payoff pitch to Carbo. He lost him, ball 4. First walk by Justin in the second of the ball game by Pirate pitching. He brings up Ted Simmons. They're in trouble again. Since the fifth inning, the Cardinals have had the first 2 runners on in every inning without anybody getting out. Got a double play in the fifth and the sixth. Gave up 2 runs in the seventh inning, and Jesse in trouble here. Simmons the batter. He got the first Cardinal hit in the fifth inning after Rooker, the starter, had retired 12 in a row. He's batting left-handed against Jesse. The pitch, he's in there, no, he's outside, ball 1. Jesse can't throw the ball over the plate. An unusual occurrence. Simmons is taking all the way. He was on that pitch anyway. We have Lamb and Walker throwing in our bullpen. Swing on this on a palm ball, strike 1. Dave nervously walking around the mound, tidying it up a bit. He's in there with a strike at the knees on Simmons. 1 ball and 2 strikes. This pitch right down the middle. But Dave right now struggling with control, just trying to throw the ball over the plate. But he's on top of Simmons with a count of 1 and 2. We're back for the double play with runners at first and third. The pitch, palm ball, bounced off the right side, and Robertson will take the play unassisted. They score a run, and moving on to the second base is Bernie Carbo. 7-4 is the score. A runner into scoring position, Torre the batter. He's the first batter that Jesse faced in the seventh inning, and he lined a single in the center field. Look at second by Jesse, checking Carbo. The pitch to Torre. Outside, ball 1. Melendez, the on-deck batter. A long, struggling ball game for both clubs here, but a very big one for the club that can nail it down. The 1-0 pitch. He's in there with a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Starting to be a problem in left field now. Torre takes the pitch outside. 2 balls in the strike. Shadows creeping along the right field line as Dave Parker, the right fielder, completely in the shadows. Here's a pitch to Torre. Fly ball, right side. It's out of play into the crowd. Now even to count on Torre at 2-2. Carbo's at second base with 1 down, 7-4. The Pirates leading in a ball game that is taking quite a long time to get through. Almost 2.5 hours already. Phillies have tied up the ball game in Montreal with 2 runs in the 8th inning. Mike Marshall having his problem. 4-4. They're in the bottom of the 8th at Montreal. The 2-2 pitch to Torre. High fly off the right side. Stennett will make the play. Nifting back in the outfield carpet. He's got it. 2 down. And Luis Melendez will be the batter. The big blow in this ball game was the home run by Dave Parker. Got Diego Segui in the 7th inning with 2 on. Jesse to go against Melendez with Carbo still at second. 2 down now. 7-4 is the score. Pirates leading. Fastball just outside. Ball 1. Eddie Fisher has finished his throwing. He's come into the Cardinals dugout. He'll be the 6th pitcher of the afternoon for them. The pitch to Melendez on the corner. Strike 1. The 1-1 pitch.
Low and outside, 2 balls and a strike. Dave working behind on just about every hitter. This is Jesse's 58th appearance, tying him now with Ramon Hernandez. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball at sail away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Final score in the National League. New York beat the Cubs 5-1. Stone beating Fergie Jenkins. Here's the pitch to Melendez. Pops him up behind home plate. Sanguillen giving chase, but I believe it's out of play. It is. The count holds at 2-2 on Melendez. University of Pittsburgh tied Georgia 7-7. West Virginia won over, I think who they did play. That is so long ago I can't remember, but West Virginia won. Beat Maryland 20-14. We lead here 7-4, but the Cardinals keep coming back at us. Swing and a miss as Justy strikes out Melendez. Now Justy settling down a bit, giving up the opening triple. Allows 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. Well, we've completed 8 in the Pirates lead, 7-4.
Let's check final scores in college football. First in the East, Lehigh 22, Connecticut 20, Lafayette 21, Kings Point 3, Holy Cross over Northeastern 38-14, Massachusetts 21, Villanova 20, and Bowling Green defeated Syracuse 41-7. At the end of the first half, CW Post 7, Delaware State nothing, Springfield 14, Cortland State 14. Juniata defeated Gettysburg 28-3. In the South, West Virginia 20, Maryland 13. West Virginia winning that ball game in the final 8 seconds of play on a 75-yard punt return for a touchdown. Pittsburgh and Georgia tied at 7-7. It was North Carolina 34, William and Mary 27, Navy 37, VMI 8. Cincinnati 40, Xavier 7, Ohio State 56, Minnesota 7. Central Michigan beat Ball State 14-7. So those are final scores we have at the moment in college football. Okay, let's get back to baseball, and here again is Nellie King.
Well, the Cardinals are making another pitching change. They're 6th of the afternoon. Eddie Fisher, former White Sox pitcher, comes on. His record 1-1. The Pirates beat him in that extra inning ball game in Pittsburgh Labor Day morning on an inside-the-park home run by Richie Hebner. His record with the White Sox, 6-7. Earned run average way up there, 4.92. And Carbo stays in the ball game. He pinch hits. He'll bat on the number 3 spot. He'll go to right field, replacing Melendez, and the pitcher Fisher will be batting in Melendez's spot. The final out on the 8th inning. That's number 6 in the lineup. Maxvill will lead it off against the knuckleballing right-hander, Eddie Fisher. Dave Justy, the on-deck batter, and then Rennie Stennett. Maxie lines one down the right field line, foul. Fisher had been around for quite a while. He started his minor league career in 1958. Maxvill hits the shortstop. Mccarver up with the ball. He's got him at first. 1 down. Here, the pitcher, Dave Justy, will step in. He had a base hit up in Chicago. And 4 for 10 this year. Batting at .400. Driven in a run. Pirates lead 7-4, and if we can capture this one, the Cardinals would fall 3 games back. This is the big one. Justy takes the strike. Knuckleball. Justy hits one off the fist to the shortstop, Keller. He's got it. 2 down. Looping line drive. 2 outs, nobody on. 7-4, the Pirates lead. Top of the 9th inning, and Rennie Stennett, who's had a couple of hits this afternoon, had a big one in the 7th inning to drive in Bobby Robertson with our 4th run. And then the big blow came following that Dave Parker. A tremendous home run out Diego Segui deep into right center field. Knuckleball is up high, ball one. And Simmons tried to catch that one and hit him from the top of his head right down to his toes. Touched everything, I think. Trickled down the first baseline. The Cardinals in the ninth inning are at the bottom of their lineup, 7, 8, and 9 batters. But the pitcher, as you mentioned, is not batting in the ninth slot. McBride, the center fielder, is there. Stennett hits sharply to center field. McBride coming on will get it. Pirates again go down a motor. And that big 4-run seventh has really been the big one for the Pirates. Well, we go to the bottom of the ninth inning. The Pirates lead 7-4.
We give you some final scores in college football. Let's check some partials for you. In the South, Auburn leads Oregon State 7-0 at the end of the first half. At the end of the half, Kentucky 17, Virginia Tech 6. And that's just about it as far as partial scores that we have in the South. In the Midwest, at the end of the first half, Kansas 7, Washington State 2, Kent State 10, Louisville 3. That's a third period score. Miami of Ohio leads Dayton at the half, 19-0. At the half, Missouri 3, Mississippi 0. After 3 periods, Michigan State 10, Northwestern 7. At the end of the half, Oklahoma State 28, Texas Arlington 0. After 3 periods, Purdue 7, Wisconsin 7. And a final score, Central Michigan 14, Ball State 7. Some scores beginning to come in from the West Coast. Penn State and Stanford, no score at the end of the first half. Elsewhere, on the schedule in the Southwest and Far West, Hawaii is at Washington. Arizona plays at Wyoming. Boise State at Idaho. That's just about it for the day games. Everybody else playing at night among the major colleges in the Southwest and Far West.
Well, we're down to the ninth inning here against the Cardinals in a wild sort of a ball game. 7-4. The Pirates leading. Kenny Reitz will lead it off against Dave Justy. He's trying to save it for Jim Rooker. Jose Cruz will pinch hit for Nick Keller. And Vic McBride will be the third batter up. Reitz has had a hit in trade bat that came off Justy in the seventh inning. In the hole between third and short. Pitch by Dave. It's hit off the right side, and Stennett's coming up with the ball. He throws on for the out at first base. The first ball hitting, they get Kenny Reitz. And that's the one you like to see in that ninth inning. He gets the first batter out. Jose Cruz will pinch hit. One of 3 Cruz brothers on this ball club. He's hitting at .231, 10 homers, 57 RBIs. Cruz has gone 3 for 13 as a pinch hitter. This is the 22nd player the Cardinals have used here this afternoon. They have used 6 pitchers. Hughes, McBride, McCarver, DeLue, Carbo, and now Cruz at pinch hit. Breaking ball inside, ball one. Blake McBride, another left-handed batter on deck. 7-4, Pirates lead, ninth inning. Cruz fouls out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. If he tried to pick up the save, it would be his 19th. But it's been a struggling performance here for him since coming on in the 7th inning. The windup on the 1-1 delivery. He's in the dirt with a palm ball, 2 balls and a strike. Just can't seem to get out in front of the hitters. Cardinals in with 9 hits. The Pirates have 7. The 2-1 pitch. Ground ball, first base, and Robertson backpedaling has it. Throws on to Justy for the out first base. 2 down. And the last out, staring Justy in the face. Then left-handed hitting rookie Blake McBride. He got him to bounce out and assisted to Robertson in the 7th inning. 7-4, the Pirates leading and trying for their 2nd consecutive win here. The finale tomorrow will have Steve Blass going against Alan Foster. McBride, a left-handed batter. Waiting on deck, Lou Brock. Here's a pitch by Justy. Inside, ball 1 on the breaking pitch, the slider. Crowd today, 30,275. Paid attendance of 28,219. McBride lines the center field. Oliver coming on. Coming. He's got it. No, he fell in front of it. The ball landed in front of him. Oliver gave up on that ball for some reason, and I don't know why. That's the second ball that Al has had him as played out there in center field. Whether he didn't see it right away or something, I don't know, but it looked like he was going to catch that ball, and just suddenly stopped coming. That's a base hit. Now it does bring up Lou Brock. The tying run is in the on-deck circle, in case you're wondering about those things. With 2 down, McBride keeps the Cardinals hopes alive. Jesse will go against Brock, who popped up high to right field. He tried to pump it out of here. Check swing, and it's foul off the first base side, strike one. Brock has had 1 hit in 4 at-bats. That was a run-scoring single in the 6th inning. He drove in the Cardinals' first run. The count is 0-1. The pitch to Brock. And low, 1 ball and 1 strike. That was the 10th hit by the Cardinals. 4 runs on 10 hits to Bart, 7 runs on 7 hits. Line drive, a base hit. And McBride stops at second. Now the Cardinals bring the tying run to the plate. I tell you, that base hit by McBride, you're going to have some second thoughts about that one. Oliver, for some reason, quit coming on the ball, and it fell in front of him for a base hit. Ted Sizemore, the batter. He tripled in the 8th inning and scored. This is a similar situation that Justy had in Chicago. Got the first 2 batters out, and got into problem. Pirates have Hernandez and John Lamb throwing. Ramon's been a rather active pitcher. Come on, Dave, get him out. Here's the pitch to Sizemore. Ball 1. Carbo is the on-deck hitter. Ball 2. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Pirate Baseball Network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
You're listening to the voice of information for the American Forces at 790 and 1420.
SCN Canal Zone.
On the count of 2-0, the pitch to Sizemore. He is too high, ball 3. That is a tying run at the plate. Bernie Carbo is the on-deck hitter. The left-handed batter, we're losing Hernandez and John Lamb. The 3-0 pitch. He's in there with a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike. He has a sign. The pitch. He lost him. Ball 4. The third walk given up in a ball game. 2 by Justy. And I believe that's going to be all for Justy. He'll leave the ball game. The ball hit by McBride has some second thoughts about it. Oliver stopped coming. And with that opening, Brock lined into right field for a base hit. He walked Sizemore on a 3-1 pitch, and Carbo is the hitter. Now bear in mind that Hernandez won 3 innings in Chicago, won 3 innings here last night. And they're going to come on and bring him on to try and get the final out here. Now Justy has another off performance, about the 4th consecutive one for Dave. He gave up 6 of the Cardinals' 11 hits in the final 2 2/3 innings. They cannot finish it. He goes 2 2/3 innings, 6 hits. He's given up 1 run, 3 runs so far. But the tying run is at first base in Teddy Sizemore. Bernie Carbo will be the batter against Ramon Hernandez. Carbo had been on deck, but he has gone back down now, and whether they'll make a change, well, we'll have to wait and see. But the Cardinals keep coming at you here. They have really run at the Bucks since the 6th inning. Hernandez, with a record of 4-4, has 9 saves. He got a couple of saves in the last 2 ball games. One in Chicago and last night here. What he wants to do is make sure that this guy is kept in the ballpark. Carbo, 6 home runs, 35 RBIs. But the bases are loaded. The tying run at first base, and the go-ahead run at the plate in Bernie Carbo. 2 down. A fly ball someplace in the park. I get the feeling that every game is going to wind up like this until the 30th of September. Seems like there are no easy ones. Hernandez is set to pitch, and it is swung on and missed, strike 1. Curveball. He was going to the down. Alan Roboski throws in the Cardinal bullpen. Bear in mind that Carbo is not a bad opposite field hitter. You try to pull Hernandez, you get in trouble. He's checking up on the bat. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. Another breaking ball. And Hernandez out in front, 0-2. We'll try to make his pitch now. With McBride at third, Brock at second, the tying run at first, and Sizemore. Hernandez staring in, gets the sign, shakes his head, and he comes in. Curve down low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. John Lamb throwing in the Pirate bullpen. It's kind of a pulse pounder here at Busch Stadium. Looks like an easy game with a 7-1 lead, but it's now 7-4. And the base is loaded with 2 down. The pitch to Carbo. He's just outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Narrowly missing with a fastball. They're tied 4-4 in Montreal in the top of the 9th inning. The Mets have already beaten Chicago 5-1. That's the first of 2 at Shea. The count is 2-2, and the pitch. Ball 3. The tying run now is at first base. Keep that in mind. Ted Simmons is the on-deck batter. Now, it means that if he gets on, he'll get the tying run at second, and the base hit gets tied right up. The game of baseball. Drive and crazy. The 3-2 pitch. He bounces back up the middle, and Maxvill got it. Throws to first. They got the out. Almost got through, but Maxvill made the good play, going to his left to get it. And Hernandez again does a whale of a job in relief. That's his 10th save. The Pirates won it 7-4.
So the Pittsburgh Pirates coming through with this victory over St. Louis, and it's a very important one because St. Louis, of course, still trying to hang in there in that National League's Eastern Division, but so far so good on this particular Saturday for the Pittsburgh Pirates, who maintain that lead at the moment over Montreal, but more important, put some more ground between themselves and the Cardinals. St. Louis now 3 games out of first place. So that's the way things look at the moment in the National League. Taking a look at the situation involving Montreal, the Expos are playing the Philadelphia Phillies, and that ball game is tied at 4 with Montreal batting in the bottom half of the 9th inning, and there would be nothing better for the Pirates than to see the Phillies come on and hold them off and then beat them in extra innings, because that would even put more space between Pittsburgh and the rest of the division there in the East. New York has already won its ball game, so the Mets will stay right there at 3 games behind. So that's the story at the moment in the East. New York beating Chicago 4-5-1 with Stone the winner and Jenkins the loser.
Now, nerve nerve-wracking ball game that shouldn't have been that way, but I guess, as I said, that's the way they wind up in the month of September in this wild Eastern Division race. Pirates had an easy 7-1 lead, but the Cardinals kept running at Dave Justy. And Dave's inability to get out in front of the hitters caused him some problems, and Hernandez finally came on to get the final out with the bases loaded, the tying run at first base, getting Carver to ground out to short. The win goes to Jim Rooker. He is 9-5, his second win against the Cardinals this year. Nagy lost it, his record 0-2. Pirates jumped on him for 3 runs in the first inning, but the bullpen did a great job. Pena, Murphy, and then Segui came on, a top relief pitcher, with a game up for grabs. And the big blow in this ball game, rookie Dave Parker, hitting his 4th home run, a 3-run shot after Rennie Stennett had driven in another run to keep it going. But the home run by Parker was a deciding blow in this ball game, and it turned out we needed it, as the Cardinals never gave up and kept coming at us. The line score, 7 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error for the Pirates, 4 runs, 11 hits, and no errors for St. Louis. And the Pirates now move 3 full games ahead of the St. Louis Cardinals, who are in 3rd place. Montreal and Philadelphia are tied 4-4. They're in the 9th inning at Jarry Park.